artist who was born in Florida, grew up in New York. She was here on the show promoting her last CD, Billie and Dolly. She has a brand new one called Notes from the Frontier, a musical journey, and she'll be performing Saturday night with her Frontier Jazz Orchestra, and that'll be Saturday night at Capitol at St. Germain. But first, she'll be performing for us right here on Wide Open Spaces. Jacqui Sutton, welcome back.
Thank you. We're glad to be back.
Good to see you. Phil treat you okay on Sunday?
Oh, man, we had a good old time. It was just a laugh fest.
Phil's a great guy. We used to share an office upstairs together, me and Phil.
Is that right?
Yeah, he told me he had a good time.
He thought he might come in and sneak a peek today,
okay.
But I don't know.
All right. Well, even if he doesn't come, tell folks who you did bring with you.
I have, these guys are what I call my backbone. These are the guys that gig with me on almost every single gig, whether I have a big format or small format. Today, it's a small format. So I have Paul Chester on banjo and several guitars.
And Paul came with you last time you were here.
Yes, he did,
Paul,
just on banjo, yeah. And I have Anthony Sapp on basses.
Anthony, good to have you as well. Is this your first time at KPFT?
It's been a few years. Okay. I used to play with a rock band called Skillet.
Okay.
In the early 90s, nice. We did this.
Cool.
And it was, yeah.
Skillet, nice to have you back.
Thank you.
and this may be Max's first time here. I'm not really sure.
No,
Max,
I think
no, have you been? Oh, Max Dyer on cello. And I'm really thrilled to have him here, too. The Sufis call the cello the nectar.
Right.
And I really do find that sound to be like a nice through line through all of the music.
Well, very nice. Max, it's nice to have you back in the KPFT studios. Thanks for coming in today. Tell me a little bit, how would you describe your style?
Frontier jazz. Okay, so here's the official definition of frontier jazz. It's called what ain't jazz, what ain't bluegrass, what's both, plus some other stuff.
All right.
So that's basically it. It's that's my take. It's predominantly a jazz and bluegrass meld,
right.
But because I have, I think, a pretty wide-ranging series of musical influences in my life, everything from musical theater to classical to pop and rock, I'll throw some of that in depending on what I respond to. And these guys have been very gracious and I don't know. They put up with a lot of my experimentation,
right.
And they've just thrown themselves into it with every note. So, and that has what has become the frontier jazz sound.
Okay. Now, I guess that explains the title of your last record,
Billie and Dolly. Yeah, those, and people say, Billie Holiday and Dolly Parton, you know, like how can that possibly be? But they are both the same as far as their iconography. I mean, they're a huge a presence, and also they completely own the space that they occupy. Billie Holiday with jazz and Dolly Parton with bluegrass. Yeah.
And I know from reading your bio that you listen to the radio quite a bit. You're
yeah.
a fixture in the kitchen. You guys had breakfast around the table and listened to some old standards on the radio.
Yeah.
And I guess those two were kind of influential in your upbringing.
Dolly Parton, not so much, but a lot of jazz and even like Beatles. I remember, I still have a reaction to hearing Yesterday.
Sure.
You know, I'm like an 8-year-old listening to Yesterday on this radio box on my kitchen table. It's like those kind of, anything that just tells a story that moves is what I'm going to respond to.
Sure. And I want to talk to you about finding your voice, but I wanted to entice people to come on out on Saturday night. I know that the gig at Capitol at St. Germain starts at 9:30.
Yeah.
And you can also get dinner there, and if you get there early and get dinner, you get a premium seat.
You get premium seating, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Is there a dinner time, like 8 o'clock, I guess?
8-ish,
okay.
Yeah.
But you can go to their website or yours to find out more about that.
You can go to the Capitol at St. Germain or my website or on my Facebook page. You will find it all there.
And your Facebook page
is Jazzgrass Chick.
Okay.
And my website is JacquiSutton.com.
Very nice.
Yeah. Jacqui. People try to spell it Jackie Onassis, and it's not that spelling.
All right. Let's hear one.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Summertime, and I guess you would call this a completely deconstructed version of Summertime. So hope you like it. Max is going to take us in.
3, 4.
You guys.
Jacqui Sutton, live in the KPFT studios with the Frontier Jazz Orchestra. Fantastic. And we are missing a few players who will be there on Saturday night.
Absolutely. This is the small format. So, who will be on stage with us on Saturday are Henry Dara on piano and trombone. We will have Noe Marmolejo on trumpet.
Okay.
We will have James Metcalf on percussion.
Okay.
So those are the other three that will make up the entire 6-person orchestra.
Very nice.
Plus myself.
Sure, of course. And Cap, have you played there before?
No.
Have you seen the space?
Oh, I have. It's a beautiful, wonderful supper club. It's quite the Frontier Jazz aesthetic. Let me put it that way.
Perfect for you. Tell people about finding your voice. And I know it took some time.
And
you were in theater and
I was in theater. Yeah, I started singing with this vocal jazz ensemble when I was in my early 20s, and it was called Jazz Mouth, and it was all vocals. And
this is in New York.
No, this is in San Francisco.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't do any singing before I moved to the West Coast, and that was like we were hanging out with people like Bobby McFerrin and Tuck and Patty and Martha Young, all of these really heavy hitters. So that was my immersion. But because I have a low speaking voice, I was always miscast vocally. So I was always cast as an alto, and I'm really a mezzo. So, I didn't find that out till almost 15 years later. So I had a lot of frustration with getting cast in vocal roles that were just wrong for my register. And then I did a lot of theater. I was in this Shakespeare company, and I did a lot of acting and musical theater. And it wasn't until I started studying musical theater in New York that I finally understood what was happening with my voice. But nobody was doing what I wanted to do because I had been singing jazz. I started off singing jazz, and then when I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I started doing contra dancing, which is like square dancing except in lines. So, and this is, I'm in my mid-20s, and so I'm listening to bluegrass a lot, and they have these amazing musicians for the dances. So I've been hearing jazz and bluegrass in parallel in my head for over 20 years. And it wasn't until I actually moved to Houston and I approached these particular musicians who were very open-minded. You know, I mean, jazz musicians especially, it's like, you know, you want to mix bluegrass in with this?
Right.
You know, but they were very adventurous and stuck with it, and I think we've come up with this sound that I think has some integrity to it, in my opinion. So yeah, and what I, because I don't like to confine myself stylistically, this particular sound works for my voice, because sometimes I can be like in that song in a lower register, but in other songs I can explore more my higher end.
All right. I want to hear what your opinions are, what the difference is between your last record and this one. But we'll talk about that after your next song. So you can be thinking about that while you're singing.
Okay, so I don't know if I want. This song is all about regret, and this has nothing to do with how I feel about the last CD. I love Billie and Dolly. Anyway, this is a bluegrass tune called Blue Mountain.
It's Jacqui Sutton live in the KPFT studio.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
'Blue mountain, a
Jacqui Sutton, live in the KPFT studio, getting some help from the Frontier Jazz Orchestra. She'll be with them as well as a few extra cast of characters that will be on stage Saturday night.
On Saturday night, yeah. And thanks, Max. What a beautiful cello solo on that, too. Yeah.
Jacqui, talk to me about this record and the photo shoot. Where'd you guys go take some pictures?
I dragged these guys almost to Austin for that tree.
Right.
The tree that's on the cover. They're like, we're going all the way to Austin for a tree, but is that an iconic tree or what?
It's beautiful. and you're in a maroon evening gown.
Yes, the whole idea is because I'm mixing jazz and bluegrass, what I wanted to portray visually was modernity contrasted against the American frontier. So that's why I had the guys dressed up in urban hip, and I wanted to be in a ball gown against the frontier.
Looks
so
great.
that was the idea.
Now, this ball gown,
you
can't fit into this thing anymore. Is that true?
For real.
I can, actually.
But it's way too big.
I'll have to get it taken in then. No, I still fit it. So.
How much? You've lost a lot of weight since this was actually
30
taken.
pounds. No, actually, since that was about 10 pounds. That's 10 pounds ago. Yeah.
Well, you look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure
I feel great, too.
So you won't be wearing this on stage?
Yes, actually, that's the first set.
Is it?
That dress is the first
set.
set.
You better take it in. Talk to me about the difference between this record and the last one. Did you approach it different in the studio? Did you?
Our studio approach was exactly the same.
Okay.
It was recorded, everybody all in the same room. I mean, obviously there was some overdubbing done after the fact, but I really wanted to have that organic, fresh, live feel to it. So from an engineering perspective, it was the same approach. However, this CD has more of my stamp on it. It's like there were these songs that I heard in a very particular way, like Summertime. I had heard this kind of like neo-soul funk beat underneath it, and we worked that out. And so I guess what I would say is that I've doubled down on the Frontier Jazz sound with this particular CD. And it's called A Musical Journey because I really do kind of take it's a survey of American music, but done in the Frontier Jazz style. So, we have an Adele cover, but we also have this next song, which is a very standard, it's a jazz standard called Better Than Anything. And I heard Tuck and Patty perform that song a lot in the early 80s. And from musical theater, I have one song from the world of musical theater as well. So it's an adventure, it's a journey. And here's how the Frontier Jazz Orchestra approaches American music.
Very nice.
How was that? Better than sailing at midnight, better than diving for pearls, better than skiing at Aspen, better than feeding the squirrels, better than finding a horseshoe, better than losing your head, better than anything thought of, better than anything said, better than singing right out loud or being spotted in a crowd, better than anything except being in love. Better than 4 sets of Dizzy, better than Count Basie's band, better than Rollins and Coltrane, better than being on the stand, better than Ella Fitzgerald, better than Miles' latest news, Bill Evans' ballads and Joe Williams' blues, better than hearing Lady Day or checking in at Monterey, better
66. Kildare and Casey and quiz shows all fixed. Huntley and Brinkley singing with Mitch. Hitchcock and Codloff and clicking the switch. Better the movies late at night or watching Emil Griffith fight. Better than anything except being in love. Better than elephants dancing. Better than clowns on parade. Better than peanuts and popcorn and fresh lemonade. Better than rides on the Midway and seals blowing horns. Men shot from cannons and fresh ears of corn. Better than balancing on the wire or watching tigers leap through fire. Better than anything except being in love. Better than anything. Better than anything. Better than anything except being in love.
On Saturday night. This is not fair. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great show. Capitol at St. Germain this Saturday night. You call and make a reservation, I would imagine, to try to get
make a reservation. Yeah, and it'd be great. Yeah, so with dinner guests get premium seating, and we are giving away a set of tickets to one lucky couple, and you'll let me know who they are, and we'll make sure they get in.
Very nice. Well, I want to thank Max, Anthony, and Paul. Thanks for taking time out of your day. It was a real treat to have you guys come play live for us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Have a great time on Saturday, and next time you guys got a gig, please come in and play live. It was a great treat.
Oh, thank you. We will.
You bet. And thanks for passing those tickets along to our listeners. We'll go ahead and give those out right now, and I'll give you their name.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
All right, so you can be looking for them at the show.
Also, just one last plug. If you bring 2 or more guests, you get a free download of the CD for free.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you count that?
They will do that at the door.
All right, they'll give you a little card.
Yes.
Got enough to worry about.
I know.
71